of what's coming at us if we don't pay attention to what the government's doing. And I'm talking about these nameless, faceless people like the EPA, and especially the EPA, who talks about motorcycle emission standards. And Mel, you want to take it away on what's been going on in Europe? I know you've been reading up on
That's
that.
precisely where I was going to go after you unleashed me. To give you a good idea of what's coming at you, while you're sitting there, maybe fat, dumb, and happy, is in Europe right now, there are laws being passed over there that will not allow you to take a motorcycle that you own and modify it to any degree. Now, what's the first thing most of us do when we get a bike off the floor, especially today with those lousy catalytic converters? We change the exhaust system, sometimes up to and including a new header system. Well, how would you like it if that motorcycle came fresh out of the factory with snap-off bolts? You try and remove anything off that engine or off that bike, and the bolt's going to break. That's what's happening in Europe. Right here in the United States, you have police departments in several states now being trained on how to identify factory mufflers versus aftermarket, because they're going to start issuing tickets. I know that's going to happen particularly in California here soon. And police officers are being trained for this so that when they stop you, it's no longer what's your decibel reading. They're going to want to look over your equipment. And if they don't see stock equipment on there, you're getting a ticket. There are helmet laws. Now, we can sit and we can debate about helmets day after day. I personally have now started to wear a helmet, especially after I've seen a couple friends go down and what's happened to them. But I still believe that it's my personal choice as to whether or not I wear that helmet or not. The problem is that the feds are trying to, through their Federal Department of Transportation, they're trying to get a rider in on a national level, which will affect us state-wise, that the Department of Transportation, in hand doling out funds to the State Department of Transportation for highway repair, can start heavily suggesting that new safety laws and regulations be passed. That being a helmet law. That's one of their primary targets. Helmets seem to be the big number one target of the day. And unless we stay vigilant and watch for stuff like this happening in our state levels, they're going to start passing helmet laws on you. And then you aren't going to have the choice. There's motorcycle checkpoints. That's federally funded down to a state level, where the states get federal funding that want it to set up these checkpoints. We all heard the horror stories about the checkpoints being set up on US 95 on the East Coast just before Daytona, Bike Day at Daytona. They set them up at the border, and they stopped them both ways. Bikes were lined up for miles. Fortunately, we have a few states that have come to their senses and have passed legislation banning motorcycle checkpoints because it's discriminatory. And it is. It's flat out discriminatory. I don't see them stopping cars and doing safety checks. You have laws that they haven't even dreamt of yet. I swear to you, you will see a law come out before too long that you're going to have to be strapped to your motorcycle. Some lunatic sitting in some state house somewhere is going to have some harebrained idea that we're safer with a seatbelt on a motorcycle than we are being free of it, because they don't understand. They haven't rode. We need to educate these people. Your participation can be to the point of just showing up. And yeah, we are looking for people that will go in and talk to legislators But if that's not your cup of tea, for God's sakes, at least start showing up. Show them we've got numbers, so that when we go in and talk to them and say, hey, we represent 350, 400,000 bikers in the state of Texas, a few hundred of which are part of your constituency, and this is what we believe, they'll listen to us because they'll have seen the number. Unless they see you guys out there standing behind us to back us up, they're going to think it's BS. What do you think?
I think so. And just get to what you were talking about a second ago and what I was talking about earlier. Bureaucrats never, those agencies never take a day off. If they don't get something through, or if we beat something back, they keep coming back at us again and again and again. They don't stop. They keep coming back. That's the reason you got to be involved. We've got to be vigilant. We've got to take it to them. And what we're doing now, compared to what we can do, is just baby steps. We're in our infancy with this. You know, and I see us, our job is to bring bikers together. Whether you're in a club, independence, whatever, we've got to come together. Otherwise, they're going to run over us. They're going to run over us. And it's like I said, the things we love about our lifestyle, about our motorcycles, it's all going to go to the wayside. They'll have it where you can't wear a vest riding on your bike. They'll have it to where you, just like Mel was talking about, where you do have to have a seat belt on your bike. And let me tell you, as a former road racer, I've always found it's always, especially in a high-speed crash, to get away from that motorcycle. Because if it comes in behind you, it's going to be hurt sitting. So you guys, this is the reasons you got to get involved. This is the reasons you have to step up. This is the reasons you have to reach out to other bikers. You know, and I don't care what they're riding. Absolutely don't care what they're riding. We've all got to come together. Now, Mel, you want to spend a few minutes talking about our club, what it is we do?
Sure. We're the Sons of Liberty Riders, and we are named after some true heroes in our country. As a matter of fact, on January 25th this year, coming out on TV is a mini-series about the Sons of Liberty. And these were true patriots that in the beginning, before the American Revolution, they were actually known as the Loyal Nine before they became the Sons of Liberty. And they had people in there such as Sam Adams, Paul Revere, all the names that come to mind when you talk about the American Revolution. And this was the group, they actually originated with the Boston Tea Party. And they pushed forward, became the Sons of Liberty during the Revolution. And beyond that, it's all history. We actually, today, by calling ourselves the Sons of Liberty Riders, you'll notice on our patch we have the image of the Ghost Riders. And we are actually thinking of ourselves as that future generation that is now riding for the original Sons of Liberty. And we become actually actively involved in legislative process, getting legislation introduced at a state level at this point, in the interests of our constitutional laws. Our primary objective here is to follow the Constitution as it was originally written, both at a federal level and a state level, to where government is kept minimal. As a matter of fact, few people realize this, but according to the original Constitution, the federal government was never intended nor was it to be allowed to write any laws or enforce any laws. The whole purpose and intent of the federal government was to protect the states from foreign invasion. That's why you see all these movements today where people are reading the Constitution and they're saying, hey, there's not supposed to be an income tax. That was temporary. And all sorts of other things, which is great. You know, I would encourage you to pay your taxes. I don't think it's worth going to federal prison right now, but that's what we're about. We're trying to be the watchdogs of the Constitution and make sure that government honors the Constitution and we keep government at a minimum. We try to attract people that are constitutionally driven and politically driven and willing to become active in that area. And we're more than happy to spearhead that. We're just looking for people to fall behind us and back us up. We have fun runs too, but our hallmark is probably the 9/11 Memorial Ride, which is becoming larger and larger every year. And what we do with that ride is we try to honor not only all of the heroes involved in 9/11, the air crews, the first responders, things like that, but people don't realize that 8 children lost their lives in those aircraft crashes. And we take 8 teddy bears and we take them with us on a ride to the American Airlines Memorial up in Grapevine each year. This last year we had probably a little over 150 riders on the ride. We don't charge anything for that ride. It's not our intent to make any money. But we take this ride up to Grapevine and we do a presentation of those teddy bears to the fire department up in Grapevine, and they take those teddy bears. Now they confessed to us last year they liked the teddy bears so much they kept them around the firehouse for a couple of weeks before they put them in the units.
Yeah, they do.
But and they pass them out first because they get contributions from different stores with teddy bears and things like that during the year. But those bears are used to help distressed children during the year that have gotten into situations or accidents, things like that, and they pass those teddy bears out.
Well, let me
Yeah,
interject
go ahead.
this, that our group is made up of 3 different sections. There's the ones that actually do the political footwork. Then there's, we have an event staff, and then we have researchers, that their job is to go out and research. It was back during the summer we learned about we learned about kinetic warfare, which is nothing more than intelligence gathering. And we got some people that's become quite good at that.
Yes, they have. They have discovered some things that are quite remarkable.
Yes, we can't talk about them all about here, but we've got our own intelligence group, and let me tell you, it's interesting to say the least. And I know politics is not every biker's cup of tea out there. It's hard to get anybody to listen about it. But let me tell you, it's just like we were saying. If we don't get engaged, if we don't get involved, they're coming at us. And I know a lot of people years ago thought I was BSing when I first said that. But it's coming true. It is coming true right before our very eyes. And if you're interested in doing, some political work, working with us, either as another club or as some individuals that'd like to join us, you're welcome to do so. And, you can find us at either TexasBikerRadio.com or visit our website, sonsoflibertyriders.org. And like I said, we are an RC. We formed that this here a few months back. And we don't think it's not great fun, because it is. We've got a bunch of guys that like each other. And we think we're on the right track. And since we got connected with U.S. Defenders and met guys like Paul Landers, Steve Cochran, Willie Probst. Let me tell you, all the leaders we've met within U.S. Defenders and the COC are they're a bunch of intelligent guys. They got
Smart
it
guys
together.
and a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. So you guys, we're going to close this out. But before I go, I want to mention this studio. I built this studio here probably a couple of years ago, and it is for rent. We can put on a good quality video for anything you might like to get out there, and so we appreciate our producer, Josh Samuels Finkenbinder, who really topped this studio off. I got it started, and let me tell you what he's got now. The type and quality videos we can produce out of here, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible from where we started at. So if you